welcome to Blackfeather Guild. Before we go in and say hi to the cast and get started with the show, I wanted to talk very briefly about viewer actions and a little bit about sponsors. So first off, there's a number of ways that you can actually actively participate in the show through viewer actions. One of the easiest ways to do so is through retweeting the game tweet. You should see that somewhere in chat if it's not in there already. But you just click on that link and hit retweet, and for every 5 retweets that we get on that, it will add a bonus to the cast pool and the game master pool. Now, in most cases, that's going to be an extra d6 that they can add on to any roll. Basically, a great way to use that is if a player is almost meeting a DC, but they're just not quite there, they can grab one of those d6s from the cast pool, roll that, and then add that to their roll. Basically, is how that works. Same with the GM. So that's one of the easiest ways that you can participate that way. Another way is through guild coins. That's our Twitch channel points. If you look at the rainbow colored icon, it should have the Blackfeather Guild crest on it. It should be right below your Twitch chat box. If you click on that, it'll show you all the different things that you can get with those. The biggest one being plot points. Now plot points, you can see an example right over here. They all work pretty much the same way. It's just a matter of how big of an impact they have. So for the example, and we've got 2 plot points, the player of your choice gets something moderately helpful or unhelpful. Enter any suggestions for the GM into chat, or you can have the GM come up with something entirely on their own. So just choose if you want it to be helpful or unhelpful to the party, and that's kind of how you can use them. You can throw in your own suggestions as well. How those work: 1 plot point is something trivially helpful or unhelpful. 2 is moderately, 3 is very, and 4 is very to the entire party. So if you want to do something to help the entire party or really throw a monkey wrench in their plans, 4 plot points will do that. So that's guild coins. And then finally, we've got donations. So if you want to help out with keeping the lights on in the place, so to speak, there's a number of ways that you can financially contribute. One of those being coffee.com/Raven or Raven.rocks. You can see both of those examples down there at the bottom. Those are the addresses to do direct donations. You can also do Twitch subscriptions or bits. Those work the same way. And then finally, Patreon. We've got a Patreon, which you should see in chat here any second, if it's not there already. And our Bard tier patrons and higher get credits towards viewer actions every month that they can use on any show that they would like. You just have to let us know in chat how you want to spend those, and then we'll hand those out. So some very cool stuff. Before we hop over to see the cast, one last thing to mention is a couple things on this chart here. We've already covered the D6 and the plot points, but the triple crits, what that means is you can gift auto critical successes. And you can, it's triple because you get 3. You can divvy those out however you'd like. You can do 2 to the cast, 1 to the game master, all of them to the game master, however you want to do it. So they work much like the D6s. The cast members just grab that when they're available and they really need them and use them. So it's pretty cool. And then finally, the last one, introduce an ally or enemy NPC. Just give us a brief description of what you want this character to look like, kind of their character concept and a name, and let us know if you want it to be an enemy or an ally to the party, and the GM will basically take that and run with it. So really cool ways that you can participate. Lastly, I just want to take a quick moment to mention our sponsors. If you look at the logos down below, that's who's sponsoring this episode, and we'll talk a little bit about that before we introduce everybody as well on the next scene. So yeah, check all this stuff out, and thank them for supporting us, and thank you for being here and watching. Let's go say hi to the cast.
Hey, welcome to the game. I'm the GM, Matt, and it is the spookiest time of year with an appropriately spooky episode. We'll see. We'll see if it's actually spooky or if I'm just hyping it up for no reason. Hi, thanks for spending Friday night with us. This is going to be a fun time. Let's go around, meet the players and the characters. We're going to start with Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your character.
Character's name is Star, a dancer. I'm Nikki. I play here. I'm just going to be quiet now before I completely ramble.
Totally fair. Mr. Parr, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Doing real good. How about you?
Doing well. I'm here, certainly. So let us know a little bit about you and about your character.
I'm a guy who roams around the internet on different Discord servers and just servers in general, different forums. You can find me online. My character is Raphael Chiclana, Raph the One, and uses the Dooms playbook for masks.
Awesome. Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Hi, everyone. My name is Brian, and I'll be playing a character named Erim, or their superhero name is Nox, and I'll be using the Legacy playbook.
Very cool. Kat, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. Hi, everybody. I'm Kat. Kat named Schrodinger, or Kat and Schrodinger, depending on where you're finding me. I'm playing a character named ASDF, WTF, IDK, AFK. And I am playing the Outsider playbook. And that's it.
All right. And last but not least in our merry band for today, Stace, how you doing?
Well, hey, pretty good. You know, the first thing I say is, what happened to the superhero joke? Brian, where was it?
Oh, we're saving it for later. We're saving it for
Yeah.
later. Don't worry. Don't
I was
worry.
somehow both grateful and disappointed.
Uh,
So,
I like how it gives you both duality of emotions at the same time.
right? Really warming up for the RP we're gonna do tonight. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm Stace Windu. That's how you can find me around the internet. I play a superhero named Activist who has the power to control machines and some electrokinesis. She goes by Margot Dupree, and pretty excited to see what's going to happen tonight based on the teaser, Matt.
Oh, well, it's going to be a good time is what it's going to be. I hope everything is fine. Nothing at all is weird. Unfortunately, Leland, who plays Stone Strike, isn't able to be with us tonight, but, I'm sure that's not any at all reflected about what's going on with Stone Strike and his moral dilemmas in any way at all. Anyway, it is a beautiful, crisp, chill day in Eon City. It is, the leaves are starting to change color. There's been some predictions that the first snowfall of the year is going to happen soon. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Each of you, and we're going to go around and kind of see where y'all are all at. You all wake up in your perfectly normal family houses, in your perfectly normal beds, without any superpowers or any memory whatsoever of being a superhero. Brian, what's Aram up to this bright and shiny morning?
Yeah, Aram is already awake. They have already they woke up around I'll say at 4:30. Yeah, they woke up at 4:30 to be on their morning jog. And then after that, their physical exercise, and also some relaxing meditation before brushing their teeth, getting ready with their day, being all bright and all optimistic about a very busy yet wonderful day that they are grateful for having.
All right. Some things just don't change, I guess. Just about core character concepts, really. Let's talk to Star. How I imagine your morning probably went a little bit similarly, didn't it?
Yeah, 4:30 a.m. wake up, practice dancing. Then she would like get to the table and fight with her sister for probably over breakfast and over everything else. And then go to her performing arts school where she tried to compete with her sister some more.
Beautiful. Let's see how Margot is doing when you're woken up.
Yeah, Margot wakes up at 8:34 a.m. and she gets up. She goes into her bathroom, attached to her room, brushes her teeth, showers. By the time she comes back out, her bed is made. Iron clothes are laid out on the bed. She has to do is get dressed, grabs an espresso on the way out the door.
All right. Now I saved Raph and IDK for the end because these two are a little bit of a special circumstance. Let's talk to IDK first. IDK, we're gonna actually get a little bit of like description out of you because IDK is from another planet normally, and
Right.
that just doesn't seem to be true anymore. So the first thing I would like you to describe what IDK looks like currently, and then we'll get into how your morning's going.
I would say IDK, it looks like they're probably like a weird blonde, I want to say Western European, but Eastern European person from some country. It's not America, and you can tell because the way they talk and the way they negotiate the English language sounds like Google Translate. So they wake up in their normal human bed or Earth human bed and decide that they are going to they make themselves breakfast, and they make breakfast for their Earth human cat, Earth cat. And they sit down and probably play video games.
Perfect. While we're going to come back to something here in a minute, let's go introduce Raph. Raph, I'm going to take over your morning a little bit. I hope you'll forgive me. We'll see. Your morning, whenever you would have normally woken up, it's about 10 minutes too early. And you remember the last part of a dream you were having, or what felt like a dream, really. It felt like something out of a movie. Like there were costumed hero characters engaged in this big fight, and there was this weird rolling cloud of green that kind of crackled and had lightning in it. And the last thing you remember, the thing in the dream that woke you up, was this weird like shadow figure who just like almost like they stepped into frame in the shot from the movie that you were watching in your dream. It's like they just stepped into frame right in front of you, grabbed your shoulders, and just screamed in your face, "Remember, wake up." And that's how you wake up.
Wow. Superheroes. What am I, 5? All right. I think Raph gets out of bed a little shaken. What the fuck's going on? Okay. Just rolls out of bed. I don't know what time. Rolls out of bed and goes to the bathroom to splash some water on his face. Get some pep back in the step. New dreams.
All right. So let me tell you all mechanically how things are going to work today. Obviously, things are a little weird. None of y'all are superheroes in our Super Teen game. That's not normal. With the exception, we'll get back to this in a second, with the exception of IDK and Raph, none of y'all have any memory of your superhero life currently. What's going to happen is at various times throughout our adventure today, you're going to have an opportunity to remember things and to start waking up. As soon as one of you is fully awake, they'll be able to try to wake y'all up from outside to give bonuses to rolls, is kind of how that will go. Here's the thing. The way mechanically it's going to work is on each one of these attempts, you can use one of your character's abilities. So I just completely blanked on what those are. Hold on while I just pull up a real quick that labels. That's the word I'm looking for. Y'all get to use each of those once today. So first time you try to wake up, you can choose to roll danger or freak or savior. The more successes you get, the more likely you are to wake up. That's how this is going to work. Part of this, though, is, do you want to wake up? That superhero world's kind of rough. This world seems to be pretty great. Kind of everything you wanted is here. Do you want to wake up? So you're going to have to consider that. Now, let's bounce over to IDK. IDK and Raph. I'm going to say this for both of y'all. Y'all are going to get a permanent +1 on all of these rolls. So you're getting an automatic bonus just because of who y'all are. We'll get into more of that later, but we're going to start with IDK. IDK, as you go about your day, you leave. You're at an age where you would still go to high school, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So you get ready, you go about your day, you head over to the school. I'm going to say for convenience sake that what we got is we've got probably just a couple of y'all go to the same school, but y'all all, for whatever reason, wind up in the same place after school for like an after school volunteer program or something. As you're walking to school, though, you have a sudden flash. It's kind of like something's intruding on your mind. You have this memory of being up on this same bridge, but flying and fighting ninjas. And people that you recognize from where y'all hang out after school were there with you. Kind of like a Dorothy at the end of Wizard of Oz. It's kind of like you were there and you were there.
Oh.
There's also a guy there that seems to be half made out of stone that you have no memory of at all.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, this is bizarre. Would I? So this is really where things get difficult to play, because my entire human life is made up.
Uh-huh.
And so if I'm remembering a dream I had,
yeah.
Is it going to feel more real or than?
Oh, now that's an interesting question. So let me ask you a question to answer that question. How would IDK have known what a normal human life was? What would have been your inspiration for this?
I would say probably just studying Earth and humans, and I spent a lot of time doing that before I came to Earth, so I wouldn't be completely blindsided and, used the wrong salad fork. So it's like that paradox with Mary in the black and white room, and this like that paradox or that thought experiment where this girl spends her entire life in a black and white room, can't see color, reads all they can about like what color is.
Right.
And then, tries to recreate, like has the opportunity to finally recreate color. And it's like, how do you do that?
Okay. So would you say that you've probably watched some TV, watched movies, things like that to get some of that
Absolutely.
grounding?
There's definitely, TVs, movies, things like that now that I've spent time on Earth and been with people, like I can probably do it a little bit better than like someone who's never been to Earth.
Right. Okay. So as you're kind of remembering this and it feels weird, it feels a little too real, maybe as you're walking, like you're kind of shaking it off and walking onto school, something kind of like tugs at the back of your mind. That's like, this feels familiar. And you get like a flash of some TV show. Like there was an episode of Buffy where all of a sudden none of the supernatural stuff was real.
Oh.
She wasn't a slayer. None of that happened. And you just get this like flash of like, oh, that's weird.
Huh.
And you
that is weird.
Yeah. Just as like, oh, weird memory connection, huh? That's
But that doesn't happen in real life. But does it? But that's exactly what I would think if I was. How would that even work? I think I'm gonna like sit and I'm gonna like think about that on the rest of my way. Like, how would that work? Like, what am I from another planet or something? Like,
pick one of your labels and roll for me. Any one of your labels, and you're gonna get a +1 to it.
I'm gonna roll superior.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Hey.
So that is a full success for you. So that's going on my personal little counter that I have running to see when any of y'all wake up. I'm taking notes. This does not leave your head. Like, this is not something you're just going to brush off. You're going to kind of be dwelling on this all day. It is now living rent free in your brain, trying to figure out how this would work.
This is a puzzle that I'm trying to solve.
You got to know how this all could work. Like, it's just, this is a problem. All right, Raph. So you're starting your day off. You're heading into school. And you're kind of just, that was a weird dream. You're kind of on autopilot a little bit, right? Just walking in. And you find yourself having somehow taken the wrong route. Like your feet just went on autopilot, and now you're standing just like a few, like a block or two away from a dilapidated clock tower in a bad part of town. And you're in front of a shop that clearly, like, it's had plenty of other owners before, but you're just standing there in front of it. And there's just this like weird like tug at the back of your brain that's like, go in.
All right. Crazy day. I'm gonna take a closer look.
It looks like a boarded up old shop. You can see, like, you can kind of peek through the windows. They're all dust covered, and you can kind of look through there. And there looks like there's like an old counter and maybe some old like display stands. It looks like maybe like an out of work comic book shop or something.
This is that superhero dream. What's going on? Get it together. Get it together. I think Raph kind of wants to look inside.
All right. You're gonna try that door handle?
Yeah. Gonna give it a little tug.
You put your hand on the door handle. You feel almost like static a little bit, and the door opens for you.
All right. This is all right. Well, let's see what's in there. Might find something vintage I can sell off later.
It smells old. Like if you've ever been in like a kind of an abandoned space that no one's been around for a while, especially one that might have had books or paperwork or anything in it, it kind of has that musty smell to it. There's just some empty display racks. There's like an old antique cash register on the counter with the tray out.
Where is the air conditioner? I'm going to close the door behind me just because it kind of looks sketchy if I'm just chilling here in the building like this. Take a bit of a look around, see what's happening.
All right. Yeah, you can poke around. There's nothing much happening in the front. There's a couple of moldy copies of comic books that are just a little too faded to really mean anything. One of them has like, you can see part of the title says Midnight Fox, but it's just these old nasty comic books. Looks like they never really sold well. Way too over the top, really, is what it looks like. Like one of them has this group of almost Power Rangers level color coordinated ninjas that are all posed together. And it's just, you just look at this going, man, who would do this?
What a ripoff.
Eventually, you work your way around. You wind up walking into the back room. The door here is off its hinges, just kind of leaning against a wall. And you can see the breaker box straight back.
There's no way the power in here would still work. I think he's feeling the urge to. Why not? Give it a try.
All right.
A little nervous.
You're gonna try to flip the main breakers?
Yeah, I think he'll give it a flip ass. He's feeling a bit nervous. He's feeling a little weird about this.
Okay, I'm gonna immediately change some of my rules that I established earlier. You need to do a different roll for me. You just need to give me a straight up and down roll 2d6. You want high. We're gonna call this a luck roll. Okay, cool. Higher than even. So we'll take that as good luck over bad luck. As you go to flip the main breaker, it's almost like as you're looking at this, a different switch is highlighted. Just for a second, you're just like, like your eyes are more drawn to one switch rather than the main one.
Let's give this a shot. Flip.
You're gonna switch the other one?
Yeah.
Okay. The entire floor of this back room starts to lower down like an elevator.
I'm insane. This doesn't. I gotta still be dreaming. There's some things like this don't happen. This is hokey.
It grinds to a halt, and in front of you is what looks almost like a mine tunnel. It's got like the carved out walls, and it's got structural beams holding it all up. And it goes down a little ways. You can't really see how far it goes. It kind of turns.
I look back at the breaker. What am I doing here? How did I find this place? Raph is torn between going back up and seeing whatever is down this cave sort of way, this entrance way. Okay. I think he kind of dwells on it for a moment, but remembers that whatever strange figure that was telling him to remember, and starts to walk in.
All right. Give me another 2d6 roll.
Your 2d6.
All right. You are walking, and it's like it's again, it's kind of that muscle memory thing. Like, instead of just like walking like normal, you're kind of doing like, sometimes you're doing like a little stutter step. You're lifting your foot up a little higher and like almost like stepping over on different places. And once you figure it out, you're almost to the corner. Once you figure out what you're doing, you turn back and look, and you've been stepping over like tripwires and oddly kind of like raised sections of the ground.
Okay, good job, Raph. You're infiltrating what must be a government hideout. Yes, that's what this is. It's got to be. I'm just.
That is a completely logical assumption.
Can't really go back. This makes sense. This makes sense. Okay. Okay, made my way through a hall of traps. Cool. Where am I? What do I see?
All right, you turn that corner, and as you turn in the corner, there is a bright spotlight comes on and just like illuminates you, and it's like that shadowy figure just like leaps at you through the light, and everything kind of goes white for you. And we're gonna hop over and see how Aram's doing today. We'll fast forward this a little bit. You are in school during the day. Your buddy Raph didn't show up. You haven't heard from him yet this morning. Not normal. Normally, like, he's like texting you, asking for like, hey, do we have a test today? Any of that sort of stuff. Hey, can you help me set up my streaming thing? I want to get started on that. Like, nothing. You've heard nothing from him today, and he has not been at school.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would be texting him, and I haven't received any replies, right?
Not so far, but this last time that you texted him, you got back like, yo, man, you got to check this out. And you got like a location drop. All
right. Are we still at class?
It's lunchtime.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I would like, talk to my girlfriend to let her know that we're supposed to have a lunch date, but I gotta do something real quick. And is the location at school?
No, it is over in the Lloyd Wright district, which is a run down place. No one goes there anymore.
How far is it from the school?
In 5-10 minutes. Not too far.
I would imagine I would have drove to school.
Sure.
Yeah. So I would like, after telling my girlfriend, I would just go and just, hop into my very expensive car and just drive away to that location.
All right. It's a real quick drive from school. You know that like the Simone Academy for gifted and talented teens whose parents can pay enough to get them in. It used to be in the Lloyd Wright district and got moved when kind of the district started, when revitalization attempts failed in the city. Right. So you zipped over real fast. And you park. It looks like the closest place to park is kind of in this, what used to be like a market square. Now that's really, really sketchy. There's like a car on blocks over on one side leaning up up against an old clock tower. And when you get out of your car, you look up at that clock tower, and I want you to pick a label to roll on to see what Aram remembers.
Pick a label, any label.
Any label, it's going to be your one chance to use it. So,
all right, then I'll use my savior.
Perfect. All right. So you also get a little check mark in my personal little counter of who's waking up when. You suddenly, clearly and distinctly remember a time when that clock tower was in perfect order, when it was beautiful, well kept. The clocks were there and they worked. You kind of all of a sudden know that if you were to go in there, you could like navigate the floor plan of it. But this clock tower, this whole district has been in disrepair since before you were born.
Was there any possible assignments that I would have done for any historical relevance to the clock tower or this district in general?
You know, that seems like a perfectly good way for Aram to rationalize all of those memories.
Yes, because he is an academic athlete.
So regardless of if such an assignment had ever truly existed in this world, now you fully believe it does. Good. Way to rationalize things, Aram.
All right. So reaching there, I'm gonna text Wrath again, like, yo, where are you? Why are you here?
You just get a ping back that says old comic book shop 2 blocks over.
Okay, so I'll just follow the old comic book shop.
All right. You get there, the door's kind of open a little bit. You can see footprints in the dust inside.
Cool. Would I actually no, I wouldn't have. I think it was safe for me to assume that Raph went in, since he's not, in front of the comic book store, but he's most likely inside. So I just follow right in.
All right. We will catch up with Aram here in a minute. Margot, would you be attending this wealthy kids private academy for gifted people that their parents can pay to get them in?
Oh,
no.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I
of
think
course.
so.
A St.
Yeah.
Vincent would get into this school. Yes. So let's see. What does your day look like, Margot?
So yeah, like I said, she gets up, everything's ready for her, in her mom's house. She rolls out the door. She walks so that she can smoke cigs on the way to school. She doesn't take a ride. And go ahead.
Where on your path to school do you and IDK meet to walk together to school?
So it depends on what part of town.
I mean, you clearly live in the best part of town, and the school got IDK, foreign transfer student, housing with one of the wealthier families in that same general area.
Oh yeah, well I'd say probably at the end of the block.
All right, so IDK, kind of in your dream, trying to figure this problem out, and you bump into Margot, and y'all are going to walk to school together.
Oh, hello, friend, Earth human friend. How is your day?
You're so fascinating. Yeah, you got a light?
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm gonna hand you a letter.
Margaret takes it like, you want a clove?
Yeah. This is the coolest and most awesome thing that kids can do.
I mean, if you don't want to, like, you don't have to, like, whatever.
Oh, no, I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just
These
continue
taste like
talking.
Christmas,
Yeah,
which is
they
a
do.
holiday I've celebrated before.
Yeah. They also make your throat go numb after a while, but that's fine.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I wonder what flavor we'll get next time.
So y'all are in the same school. Y'all are most likely in a bunch of the same classes. So IDK